Welcome, Mayor Tuck, for your tour of Hampton's newest facility that serves residents and visitors. You know, Hampton's aquatic heritage is as deep as the Chesapeake Bay and as vast as the Atlantic Ocean. And now, our beautiful coastal community is home to the largest aquatics facility in Virginia, and maybe one of the biggest in the Mid-Atlantic region, the Hampton, Virginia Aquaplex. And we have national and regional events scheduled already. But the center is not just for big meets, it's for other activities like the Wibbit Water Course Challenge, which is a series of giant inflatables that kids and grown-ups can climb on, jump on, and slide off of. And we're planning dive-in movie nights. So come on in with me. Let's make a splash.
Hey, Mayor Tuck. My team is practicing for the City High School meet. The Hampton Aquatic Center is perfect for competitive aquatics. Events here will have great economic impact on the city of Hampton and the surrounding region. Thousands of athletes and their families will come to Hampton to compete in multiple day events and stay in area hotels. And there's plenty of seats for our fans. Give me another 50 laps.
Hey, Mr. Mayor, you said this was going to be the largest facility in Virginia. And you weren't lying. Just look at this place. There's over 1,500 seats up here and 760 spaces downstairs so that the swimmers can sit and not even get the bleachers up here wet. This is amazing.
Hampton School Board members, we are always excited about great things for our students. And the fact that we can have all 4 of our high schools practice here using the 25-meter lanes in the larger pool or in the program pool speaks volumes, because it means that our kids have an advantage that they never had before. This is a win-win for Hampton City Schools.
And at today's meet, all of our 4 high schools have home field advantage. Go Hampton City Schools.
Go Bethel Bruins.
Go Hampton Crabbers, can't crush a crab.
Go Kickatown Warriors.
Go Phoebus Phantoms.
Mayor, I didn't expect to see you here. I just took the day off to relax. Oh.
Welcome, Mayor Tuck. We know that serving the community with Learn to Swim classes is an important mission of this facility. So starting this January with a special partnership between the City of Hampton and Hampton City Schools, every second grader in our school division will participate in free swimming lessons. We're excited about this opportunity, and we look forward to transporting our young people to this state-of-the-art facility as a part of their physical education curriculum.
That's right, Dr. Smith. We're the first school division and city in our region to offer free Learn to Swim lessons through the school PE curriculum. And we know that won't make all of our students competitive swimmers. And that's fine, because we will be exposing more young people to the love of swimming. More importantly, though, with 124 miles of waterfront, it's important that we drown-proof our community. And this is one of our first steps to making sure that young people love the water and can interact with it safely.
You don't have to wait until your child is in 2nd grade. I'm going to sign Camille up now. So when she gets here for 2nd grade classes, they'll do an evaluation and put her in a more advanced group, learning new skills. Bye, girl.
Mayor Tuck, do you want to make a splash while getting fit? Join my water aerobics class. Exercising in the water is easy on the joints and still gives you a good workout. We have a 0 entry ramp for getting in easily. This pool is only 3.5 to 4.5 feet deep, and it's warmer than the big pool.
Mayor, I'd like to give you a behind-the-scenes look at how the Aquaplex runs. The engineering details are simply fascinating. There is a source capture system that's specifically designed to reduce the airborne chloramines and disinfecting byproducts. This system actually captures the harmful and corrosive fumes at their source, the pool's surface, and exhausts them out of the facility. That makes the air significantly cleaner for our swimmers and our guests. Now, I could go on and talk about the air handler system. I could talk about the water return and the pump system. However, I see that your eyes are already glazing over.
Mayor Tuck, welcome to our concession stand. It's the latest, it's the greatest. They can cook anything, do anything here. I just so happen to have a delicious hot dog waiting for you. And we've got all kinds of condiments. We've got ketchup, mustard, relish, everything you could ever want. And look, we've got our own napkins. Look at that. We are ready to go, buddy.
It's a little chilly today, but if you want to be the coolest parent or grandparent on the hottest days of summer, you'll want to bring the kids here. Residents and visitors of all ages and abilities will have fun going down the slides, floating around the lazy river, and shooting hoops, Case.
Yeet.
If you get tired before they do, there's plenty of lounge chairs to sit and relax and watch the action, and the concession stand's right over there. Memberships for Splashdown Park are separate from pool memberships and will go on sale in the spring. We can't wait to get ours, can we, Case?
No, we can't.
What a great tour. I think it's officially time to go back inside and jump into this year's State of the City. Well, there are those who expect me to keep a straight face following that, but anyway. Welcome. It is really wonderful to be here. Thank you all for coming. Two things. One, it was 50 years ago since I was last on a diving board, and that was when I was a freshman and I was required to take swimming. The second thing is I only weigh 155 pounds, so it took more than one take to get that splash. I want to thank the Chamber. Thank you, Bob McKenna. Thank you, Ms. Roach. Thank you all again for being here today. It really feels awkward being here. I mean, the last 2 years we've had COVID. It's 3 years ago since we last did a live State in the City. So I have to admit I'm a little bit nervous, so bear with me. But I want to begin by acknowledging my fellow council members. I think that we have probably the best council in the 757. That's Vice Mayor Jimmy Gray, council members Chris Bowman, Eleanor Brown, Steve Brown, Michelle Farabee, and Billy Hobbs. And also want to acknowledge our new council members-elect, Martha Mugler and Hope Harper. And I also want to acknowledge our support team, our city manager, Mary Bunting, our city attorney, Sharon Ivory, and our city clerk, Catherine Glass. And for the most part, you don't see the things that they and their staff do. And a lot of times people think that the mayor is in charge of the city. No, it's the city manager who is in charge of all the employees. And I will tell you, they do incredible work every day, and most of it doesn't get noticed, but it's what makes Hampton such a great place to live, work, and to conduct business in. So if you will give them applause. I also want to share with you that there are a number of new faces in Hampton since we last got together, and many of them started in the last 2 years. And so I'd like to ask them to stand as I call their names. The first, we have two new college presidents. It's Daryl K. Williams at Hampton University and Dr. Tawana Porter Brannon at Virginia Peninsula Community College. We have a new sheriff, Karen Bowden, and a new police chief, Mark Talbot. We also have a new city treasurer who really is a familiar face, and that's Councilwoman, or former Councilwoman, Chris Sneed. And at Joint Base Langley Eustis, we have Colonel Greg Ballou as the new base commander. And I understand he can't be here with us, but Colonel William Creedon is the new commander of the 1st Fighter Wing. And as a side note, Colonel Ballou was born in Hampton and he dances a wicked electric slide. The Hampton, Virginia Medical Center has a new director, Dr. Takisa Simmons. And finally, while we're acknowledging our federal partners, I'd like to ask Clayton Turner, who's Executive Director of NASA Langley Research Center, to please stand. Thank you all for being here. It's really wonderful, again, to be back up here and to see your faces. 2 years ago, I did our State of the City address virtually amid a large spike in coronavirus. We had to cancel all the ones of last year. But that said, today we know the virus isn't gone, but with vaccines and targeted medical treatments, it means that cases are now much, much milder. We've endured a lot, but we've also come through. And in fact, development in Hampton has thrived over the last 2 years. We've seen the fruition of projects that were already announced. We've seen new developments, and we have many new projects that are underway. And so for those of you who were hunkered down, you didn't go out much over the last 2 years, and you actually work from home, I'd like to show you today all the ways that Hampton is making a splash. Now, since we showed you our new Hampton Aquaplex in the opening video, I'll just tell you a little bit more about it. Essentially, we built 3 facilities: a community pool, a competition venue, and an outdoor water feature. And by combining them, we've saved our taxpayers money. And this was an ambitious project for a city Hampton's size, and it came with an ambitious timeline. A proposal was received June 18th, 2018. We had a comprehensive agreement signed on July 8th, 2020, and then 27 months later, we opened the facility. For those who missed the Old Dominion State of the Region report, here's a key economic point they made. The payoff comes through tourism. Tourism dollars generating economic impact for the whole community. The 8-day 2023 USA Artistic Swimming Junior Olympics will generate some 2,100 local hotel room nights, and that will have a $3.7 million economic impact for Hampton Roads. And that's just 1 week. Thank you. Other bookings for 2023 include a USA Artistic Swimming Regional Championship that will lead up to the National Championship. There will be several more regional events. The Virginia High School League Championships for Regions 5 and 6 are scheduled to be held here. The International Swim Coaches Association's National Club Championships and the Colonial Athletic Association Swimming and Diving Championships. And these will be first of many to come. But a pool isn't the only way to make a splash. The Aquaplex is part of the City of Hampton's youth sports tourism plan. It builds on our already successful athletic events, specifically the Boo Williams Sportsplex. Boo became a national name in basketball through his Boo Williams Summer League, which actually began in Hampton a remarkable 40 years ago. Again, the benefits range from the non-economic, which is providing a place for young people to learn and to grow, to being an economic driver for the city. Now, when tournaments and college coaches come here to Hampton, hotel rooms and restaurants fill. We purchased sports flooring for the convention center to increase our ability to add additional basketball courts, as well as to host more volleyball and cheer competitions. The Hampton Coliseum also hosts the prestigious Virginia Duels Wrestling Championships each year for both high school and college wrestlers. And speaking of the Coliseum, we have a new team that will be playing there starting in January. It's the Hampton Hammerheads of the Professional Box Lacrosse Association. This is a rapidly growing sport, and we will have opposing teams from New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and North Carolina traveling to Hampton to take on the Hammerheads. Improvements at War Memorial Stadium, targeting draining and adding artificial turf, a new batting cage, and rooftop observation deck were largely done for the Peninsula Pilots and the Apprentice School. But this will also help us bring in small and mid-sized high school tournaments that attract college scouts. The stadium turns 75 years of age next year, and the renovations will allow it to remain a drawing card past the time it celebrates its centennial. At Darling Stadium, the football and track facility will receive a big upgrade. We've got $2.9 million allocated this year for transition to artificial turf and better drainage. It will also include a resurfacing of the track and other innovations. Virginia High School League playoffs are frequently held there, as well as band competition and other community events. We love the tax dollars, but these developments are not strictly about the economic benefits. The benefits to our young people and to our community cannot be calculated. Sports are a powerful motivator for many of the young people in our community. They teach teamwork, discipline, patience, and commitment. They provide more adult role models in kids' lives, and many of the coaches are as much mentors as they are athletic instructors. However, sports aren't the solution for all young people. Hampton, like all cities in the region, state, and across our country, have seen an increase in violence since the COVID epidemic, in particular, youth violence. It's unacceptable. I've become personally involved in this issue and have rallied other mayors in Hampton Roads. Regional issues need regional solutions, and on this, we must work together. And in Hampton, we've committed $2.4 million of our federal pandemic rescue funds on programs for young people, particularly those who may not be on the right path. We've increased local funding as well. Some of that is government-provided solutions, such as expanding our summer youth employment program to include more high school students, as well as hiring a larger youth outreach team. But we know that government can't solve all the problems, so we're empowering others by providing funds to expand current programs or to start new programs. And so far, we've awarded $1.7 million in grants to nonprofit organizations that work on a grassroots level with many of our young people. That includes the Marching Elites, a nationally known drill team that has engaged our young people for more than 30 years, a 60-year-old trauma-informed counseling center, the brand new Hampton Roads Police Athletic League, which connects kids in the Hampton City schools with law enforcement to try and form a better connection at a younger age, and a dance troupe that teaches through drumming. We're proud to partner with these and other organizations, which are led by people who have a passion for helping others. It will take a long time for these prevention efforts to make a dent in crime statistics and to affect the public's perception of the issue. It's harder to measure what didn't happen than what did. Hampton continues to have the second lowest crime rate per capita in Hampton Roads, but we're committed to lowering that rate. People deserve to feel safe in their communities. In 2021, crime in Hampton increased 3%, slightly less than the average increase across the nation. Police Chief Mark Talbot, who's been now with Hampton a little more than 16 months, has worked with his team to continue to focus on community policing and working within the community. We're very intentional in our efforts, and we follow the data. Our police data team has taken a close look at gun crimes so far this year. And although we've had 10 months or just 10 months of data, what we know is that gun crimes have increased in 2021 by 8%, but they've decreased 24% in the first 10 months of 2022. Thank you. And reported crimes are 8.6% lower than they were through the first 10 months of 2021. The steepest declines were in people shot and killed or injured. Now, what that means is that we're going in the right direction, and we need to make sure that every neighborhood is safe and that every child is safe. We also need to continue to watch the data and to see the insights and linkages between generational poverty and crime. We cannot let our children grow up thinking they have no future. As our city manager and our school superintendent said earlier, and to the amazing young people who represented them, our educational system is excellent. We're offering a high-quality education that is on par with the best systems in the country. We're leading our young people forward. And that path forward always begins with education, and we've got a lot to be proud of. Hampton City Schools has the highest graduation rate and the lowest dropout rate in the entire region. Our Academies of Hampton continues to give students a specialized course of study tailored to their talents and to their interests. And the new Flex program took what we learned through virtual classes during the pandemic and is offering new opportunities to learn from home. And at Hampton University, Dr. William R. Harvey retired this year after 44 years as the school's president. 44 years. Think about that. Our country has had 8 presidents since 1978. Hampton University has had 1. Well, now 2, as we welcome Darrell K. Williams, a proud HU alum, into that position. He has some big shoes to fill, but then he's a retired U.S. Army general, so we know he's used to taking on challenges. Also this year in Hampton, Virginia Peninsula Community College got a new name and a new identity, one that tells the world right where it operates. And when VPCC launched its new name and brand, the new look was designed by an alumnus of VPCC, Michelle Strunk, a graphic designer who attended the school 20 years ago and who's been working there ever since she obtained her degree. That's something for the school to be proud of. And for young lives to be on the path to success, there must be available positions. And so job creation is our priority. North Point Development has announced it will build the Phoenix Commerce Center. They're planning a $93 million investment on 2 buildings that total about 840,000 square feet. It's located off West Pembroke Avenue, bounded by Aberdeen Road and Shell Road. The buildings will be LEED certified, a green certification, and built to have solar roof panels. They expect a minimum of 4 tenants to provide a wider range of jobs. And North Point is rated the #1 industrial developer in the nation over the last 5 years by Real Capital Analytics. Amazon rehabbed the old Kmart building and opened a delivery station in Hampton, adding about 200 full-time jobs, hundreds of part-time jobs, plus additional work for independent contractors. Harbor Commerce Center, a $27 million investment on West Pembroke Avenue, is being built by W.M. Jordan. They're nearing completion on 2 115,500 square feet Class A industrial buildings. Both are already fully leased. When I spoke at the virtual State of the City 2 years ago, Huntington Ingalls Industries had just broken ground for its Unmanned Systems Center of Excellence. Both buildings are now open and assembling hull structures for Boeing's Orca extra-large unmanned vehicles undersea program for the U.S. Navy. That's a mouthful. The purpose-built state-of-the-art facility will be used for unmanned systems prototyping, production, and testing. The facility solidifies HII's commitment to advancing development of unmanned systems for its current and future customers. The company expects that more than 260 high-quality jobs will be created to support unmanned systems design and production at the facility. And it's not just Huntington Ingalls and underwater unmanned craft. Hampton is a hub of unmanned vehicle research and development, just as it was the center of aeronautical research at the nation's first NASA center. That led to groundbreaking research and development that changed the way we travel, the way the military operates, and the way goods and services reach customers. Now we're at the epicenter of the next significant breakthrough, a new technology that has the potential to again reinvent how we live our lives. As flight enabled us to reach cities across the globe, uncrewed flight could soon be getting us to the airport to catch those flights, bypassing ground traffic. And yes, packages can be delivered quickly and efficiently via drone. The impact is not just commerce and convenience. This industry has the potential to have a positive impact on our environment. It will be much quieter, reducing noise pollution. These lightweight electric aircraft will have near zero carbon impact, assuming clean methods for producing electricity, such as wind and solar. They will reduce traffic on clogged roads and reduce demand for more, newer, and wider roads. Taken together, it all adds up to a significant taxpayer savings. So Hampton is definitely making a splash in the new unmanned aviation market, which Morgan Stanley projected would be a $1.5 to $2.9 trillion industry by 2040. Research and development are centered in Hampton because there is synergy and support here. Advanced Aircraft Company is a small business in Hampton that is poised for tremendous growth. AAC recently won 2 significant U.S. government contracts. One is with the United States Air Force Research Lab to militarize their hybrid advanced multi-rotor craft, and the other is with NASA to build a tilt-wing prototype unmanned aircraft. The Longbow Group, an international aviation consulting and services company, has an unmanned systems research and technology center on the grounds of Fort Monroe. Last year, the Longbow Group announced that center will partner with NASA on collaborative research to develop a prototype of an unmanned aircraft that will take off and land vertically. Longbow is in the process of establishing autonomous drone ports in downtown Hampton and on Fort Monroe, and is planning to add vertiports to its network for future advanced air mobility applications. Now, this developing technology is more than just prototyping aircraft. Even more so than large aircraft, small, lightweight drones must have key weather data and understand how it will impact their crafts. True Weather Solutions was awarded a grant from NASA Langley Research to improve detection of wind hazards caused by buildings in urban areas. It's partnering with Hampton University, Longbow, and NASA to establish an urban weather test bed downtown by deploying approximately 30 devices to measure the weather. And of course, it's NASA Langley Research Center that is and remains the core of research and development in Hampton. Early this year, they opened a $110 million measurement systems laboratory. Now they're planning a flight dynamic research facility, which will be a $43 million, 10-story high vertical span wind tunnel, the first new wind tunnel in 40 years at the center. Meanwhile, next door at Langley Air Force Base, there's unprecedented growth as the base prepares to become the home of the F-22 Formal Training Unit. That unit's move to Langley is expected to bring more than 750 Air Force personnel and contractors to Langley. And in total, Langley is investing $245.5 million worth of new construction. And I'm happy to announce that not all of Langley's needs are being filled on base. Through a unique partnership, a federal grant was used to create a firing range and training center on the grounds of Fort Monroe that will be jointly shared by the Hampton Police Division and Joint Base Langley Eustis. Both the police and military base have issues with their current firing ranges. This multi-purpose training center on Fort Monroe solves those problems. And yes, Joint Base Langley Eustis will take time to create a community celebration on May 5th through the 7th, 2023. The region will once again enjoy air power over Hampton Roads, which will be Langley's first air show since May 2018. I know the whole community will be thrilled to have this great air show back in Hampton. Tourism has rebounded from the pandemic and is growing at a fast pace. Starting in early 2021 and continuing to the end of the calendar year, Hampton saw dramatic increases in hotel occupancy. And more important, people are staying in convention quality hotels. The average daily rate for a hotel room in Hampton increased by 26% in fiscal 2022 over the previous year. The higher rates and higher occupancy pushed revenue through lodging up 45% in fiscal 2022 to $59.3 million. And that happened even without several key events, such as the Hampton Jazz Festival. We expect to see even more growth for the current fiscal year. Making the city a great place to visit really is a byproduct of making Hampton a great place to live. And although we're a historic city with a few years on us, actually 412 if you're counting, we're making room for more people at the table. There isn't a lot of vacant land left, so we're building up. New apartments have opened from market rate to luxury, including Lumen in Hampton Roads Center North, Ellipse in Coliseum Central, and Monroe Gates in Phoebus. Downtown, WVS is now leasing their 15,406 square feet of commercial space to accommodate retail, restaurant, and office users in their new building anchoring Settlers Landing Road. It's called the Constellation on King, and it also will include 159 luxury apartments above the commercial space. The first residents could move in before the end of the year. I'm also pleased to announce that they are moving on to the next phase of their downtown development today. The company has the SunTrust building under contract and will add roughly 50 additional units to round out this entire city block of new development. New infill homes in Hampton's existing neighborhoods are selling as soon as they are finished, and Franciscus Homes has found enough vacant land for 2 developments. Compass 19, a townhome development across from Bass Pro, offered 120 for sale units. Now that those units are sold out, the company is preparing to build up to 75 more units. That development on Big Bethel Road will be called Watermark. Why do so many people want to live in Hampton? We have a great quality of life. fact, I would whisper that to you to keep it a secret, but Smart Asset keeps us on the list of the country's top affordable beach towns. And Wallet Hub ranked Hampton the 6th best city in the country for first-time home buyers, the 34th city on its list of the most diversified economies, and the top Virginia city among its best beach towns to live in. And speaking of beaches, we did a beautiful multi-year refurbishment of Buckrow Beach. Visit Buckrow now and you will see an expanded boardwalk with better lighting and more security cameras, a new seawall, swings, benches, and lounges where you can relax while enjoying the beach and the park, and more ramps to make the boardwalk accessible to more visitors. We're putting the finishing touches on a gorgeous $7 million sand replenishment, restoring the historic Buckrow Bayshore Beach to the quality that made it a premier resort. We opened 2 new neighborhood community centers, which are jointly run by the Citizens Committee and the city. One near downtown Hampton in the Old Hampton neighborhood is named for Mary W. Jackson, the Hidden Figures engineer who lived and volunteered in that neighborhood. The other is across town to serve the Fox Hill community. Both of these centers provide outstanding resources to the adults and kids who live in those neighborhoods. Now, some of our newest developments in the retail sector aren't really retail, they're experiential. 2 new attractions at the Peninsula Town Center are designed to provide fun for young people and their families. Sky Zone Trampoline Park opened 2 years ago with jumps, games, and activity for all ages. Latitude Climbing and Fitness is under construction and expected to open early next year. The planned Hampton location will feature around 12,000 square feet of bouldering and rope climbing surface, as well as adjustable training boards, fitness amenities, and classes. Hampton has a very vibrant music scene. The Vanguard Brew Pub and Distillery has hosted the Veer Magazine Local Music Awards for the past 2 years. This brought music lovers from all across the region to Hampton, many of them for the first time. And yes, the Local Music Awards will be back at the Vanguard next year as well. And speaking of the vibrant music scene, Vice Mayor Gray and I had an opportunity to be a part of that as we recently took stage with several bands to perform in a benefit for the Hampton Education Foundation. Outside developers aren't the only ones investing in Hampton. The city is investing in our future. We have embarked on an ambitious campaign to upgrade some of our aging infrastructure, not all of which dates back to 1610. We're also investing in resilience, neighborhood drainage, stormwater improvements, and dredging waterways. We're going beyond that and thinking big. We're creating projects that will accomplish multiple objectives, protecting people from the water when it's threatening, but in a way that still connects them to the water. We aren't following the examples of others. We are creating best practices so that they can follow us. This summer, Hampton was named the Resilient Virginia Community of the Year in recognition of our efforts to prepare for the impact of climate change. A member of the awards committee wrote, and I quote, "As localities across the country begin this process, they will be well advised to look at the work that Hampton has done," end quote. And just yesterday, I attended the ribbon cutting ceremony for the Virginia Seafood Agricultural Research and Extension Center, or AREC. This is a new $10 million Virginia Tech facility in downtown Hampton that is focused on the future of every element of the seafood industry. The AREC facility operates in partnership with the Virginia Tech Coastal Collaborator, another office and lab space that opened in downtown Hampton this year with a mission of addressing challenges and finding solutions for Virginia's coastal zones. We're looking forward to the vision and innovation that will come out of these outstanding new facilities. Also this year, Hampton was named one of the top 10 digital cities in the nation in our population range. This distinction reflects the way that our city uses technology to keep residents safe, secure, and informed. Oh, and I should mention, this is the 20th time that Hampton is placed in the top 10. 20 times. All these things reflect the ways that we are making a splash in Hampton. You're seeing the outward results. But what is the most amazing thing, though, is how we are making a splash. We aren't just doing it through government. We aren't doing it by ourselves. We are working through and with the people in this room and in the rest of the city of Hampton. The splash I made alone off the 3-meter springboard is small compared to the splash when we all work together. Developers, educational partners, nonprofits, volunteers, educators, city staff. It takes a lot of people to make a city like Hampton as great as it can be. And more than anything else, it takes the dedication and investment of our residents, the people who live here. So whether you were born here or raised in Hampton, or if you came here for a career or a military transfer, no matter what brought you here, you are a part of what makes Hampton the city that it is today and the city that it will become in the future. So I say to all of you, please make a splash in Hampton. And not just when you visit the Aquaplex. In fact, here's a look at some of the new businesses and developments that have made a splash in Hampton in the past 2 years. If you haven't checked them out yet, we hope that you will soon. Thank you.